Hi everyone, it's Bradley Mayer-Harman with the Mayer-Harman team at Century 21 Millennium. Well, obviously today is a huge day because it's the day that marijuana, pot, weed, cannabis is legal in Canada wide. So it's not just the province of Ontario, but it's the entire country. And what does that mean for you? How does that affect you? Why is it important? What does it mean for the country? What does it mean for our society, socially, and so forth? There's lots of questions. Everyone's soul searching today and will continue likely. So October 17th, today is the day the Canadian federal government legalized recreational cannabis. There's three main reasons why I think, and from what I've heard from people who are proponents of it, as to why we should have been legal in the first place, but why people are happy that it is. So the three main reasons would be social reasons. So that's, prohibition historically has never worked. Pot versus alcohol, the equivalency as to whether or not one is worse than the other, or if they are equivalent, and it doesn't make sense to have one legal and one not. Pardons for possession, so socially, obviously, it's helpful to not have as many people in jail, allow people to have more social mobility when it comes to getting employed. Those are reasons why socially it's a good idea. Law enforcement reasons would be to reduce the financial burden on law enforcement overall. This is when it comes to fighting crime, or because criminals have the proceeds of marijuana, they can get larger. And marijuana is a item that is sold quite often. It's probably the more common one when it comes to larger, the quantity of drugs distributed. So the other aspect is safety. So obviously having less criminals on the streets mean that there is less money for those the few criminals left, hopefully. That will use it to expand and to create more havoc. So next, a fiscal reason. So obviously the other aspect that is beneficial about marijuana being legalized is that they can tax it. They can get revenue from it. In addition, they can grow an industry in a world where Canada is the second country in the world that has allowed marijuana to be decriminalized and legal. So you can possess it and smoke it without going to jail. Wow, that's amazing in and of itself. Too many people get a criminal record and suffer for it for the rest of their lives simply because they wanted to get high. And so certainly I think that is a good idea, that people can be forgiven and hopefully forgiven for those mistakes. Everyone makes them. So world leader in the industry, that's very much a possibility, if not a probability, because I do know a lot of people who are in the industry and are doing quite well. Legalization of marijuana is a big topic. It's been a topic in Canada for quite some time, and certainly since Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, was elected. He was elected. This was one of his policies or promises that he made, and so it's not like it was decided yesterday that this would happen. There was enough time for people to at least know that this is happening. Certainly, there's arguments as to whether or not the legislation and the political components of making weed legal is sufficient, but I will leave that up for you to debate. Certainly you can leave a comment below if you have an opinion. So after much debate, Canadian weed is legal, whether you like it or not. It is the case. Cannabis legalization, the facts. If you want to see a lot of my other videos, please do check out part 1 of cannabis legalization. I have it on my YouTube channel, so take a look at that. So cannabis legalization, the facts. So for starters, in Ontario, in the country, it is legal. You can order it on a website. In some provinces, they use Shopify. I think that's 4 different provinces use Shopify, but Ontario has its own online distributor and grower, and they will show who their growers are on the website as well. So here's an excerpt. So you have to be in Ontario, you need to be 19 years or older to smoke or purchase marijuana. Sales locations currently are online only, but as of April next year, they will be no longer government controlled, and there will be private retail supposedly available to distribute marijuana. Smoking locations, currently it's private residence, but if the province approves, new legislation will allow consumption wherever tobacco is legally smoked. 30 grams in public is your max, but there is no limit at home. Someone's gonna get high today. Ontario's Cannabis Store. So I went to the store to check out the website just so I can give you guys some feedback. It is quite good, in my opinion. they start off right out the gate by asking the age of the person. And now, of course, this is there is no verification. It's just asking the age. Once you verify the age, then you can go ahead and confirm it. But there is a benefit to the fact that it's the very first thing that they see when they go to the store. They don't see a big plant, a weed plant. They don't, none of that. It starts off by making sure that someone of legal age is only allowed to move forward. But again, it's not the first time kids have lied on an internet survey or a checkbox. In either case, it thanks you. Then you have an opportunity to learn more about cannabis. Another thing that I really liked about the website is that it gives you far more information than you could probably want. But more importantly, it's in a concise and easy to navigate format, which allows you to truly understand weed, understand what makes you high, and we'll get into that in a minute. But before we do, I just thought it was funny, the little response they had immediately on the website about how they have been overrun with orders. So it's a good thing. It means, illegal distributors are not getting the funds anymore. And yes, the government is, so that's a contention for the people who believe in a free market and capital. Oh my Lord, I forgot the name. The capital market. Capitalism, my lord. Anywho, so moving on, how cannabis works. So this is part of the website on the left. Cannabis anatomy. The details around consuming marijuana and how it's going to affect the body, how to choose cannabis products that will suit you, buying cannabis through a website, and then the other legal things you need to know about marijuana legalization in Canada. So all of that is there on the website. You can also check out the most popular searches as to how to prepare it or ingest THC. And there's also CBD, and we'll get into that. Actually, they have a nice little commercial break we'll have in a second. But before we do, privacy concerns are a paramount part of their rollout, which I thought was a very good addition. And then tips for responsible use, obviously, is extremely important as well. So we're going to move on to a video now. This video is one of on the website, and it explains everything that you need to know about marijuana. So I am going to give about 2 minutes to this video for you to watch it yourself. I found that interesting. Did not know that. So again, I find the public awareness and education is good. Awesome. So what did you guys think? That was the video that is provided for the website, and I thought they did a good job. Certainly a lot of information there, a lot of important information for people who are trying it out for the first time. Well done. So why is it relevant to real estate? Like, we've talked about marijuana, but maybe you're not interested in smoking it at all, and you don't want to know how it affects the body. But again, even if you don't smoke it, I think it's a valuable thing to know, especially when you're judging others. And I don't say that in a judgmental way myself. I'm just saying that a lot of people have a lot of misinformation, over many years of misinformation about marijuana. And now that it's legalized, it doesn't hurt to know a little bit more so that you have an educated perspective. Because remember, ignorance is not something that you need to be ashamed of, but it is something you should address. And I'm not suggesting you're ignorant for not knowing about cannabis, but I'm suggesting that the more information you have, the more enlightened you'll be about the subject. And so that way, when you are talking with someone, you can articulate your opinion in a much stronger way, and certainly it'll also result in more people being educated about what the cannabis situation is all about. Anyways, so why is this relevant to real estate? Well, before let's move on. So because growing cannabis can be legal at your home, this is going to be a real estate issue. As you know, in my last video, I brought up all of the issues that OREA, the Ontario Real Estate Association, has. I do not represent OREA, but I can tell you that the Ontario Real Estate Association does have some reservations about the plant being grown at home. So currently you're allowed up to 4 plants at the house. Can you grow pot at home? Yes, there's a couple ways that you certainly can buy these type of weed shelters, and they help you grow. Again, I'm not trying to, I know I haven't used them, I don't know them, but I think that it's an interesting way to grow your own marijuana if you wanted to. So what's OREA's position? Again, I am not representing OREA in this video, but OREA's position is that they would prefer marijuana not be grown in houses at all, simply because of their concerns about grow-ops. But again, according to them, they just want to make sure that homeowners have a choice and they're aware of the consequences of it. So OREA's 5-point plan is to designate illegal grow operations as unsafe. So those are the ones that have more than 4 plants and are creating health issues in the home. They want home inspectors to be able to know and be trained on illegal grow operations so that they can be prepared and inform buyers when they get into a house and it used to be a grow op. Registration of former grow ops is also helpful because it will ensure that real estate agents can research to determine whether or not a house has been used as a grow op, so that they can obviously inform their clients and buyers are not left in the dark. Mandatory training for home inspectors. Inspect former illegal grow operations, mixed 2 and 4. So both are important, and reduction in plans for multi-unit dwellings. So this is specific to condo corporations, but also multiplexes, 2plex, 3plex, so forth, because as people grow more in a smaller area, it may affect the neighbors or the tenants beside you, and that will also have a detrimental impact on their ability to enjoy the property if they don't like the smell, or if they don't, if there's other issues associated with it. So, and again, you can check out all the issues on my previous video. But in the meantime, if you're looking for more information, you can check out the Ontario Landlords Association if you're a landlord and you're concerned about the tenant growing marijuana in your house. You can check out Acorn Canada if you're a tenant. You can also join the Tenant Association if you're a tenant and get far more information there about your rights. Condominium Authority of Ontario also has a little blurb on their website about their position with respect to marijuana in condominiums and units. One of the things OREA was suggesting is that you should only be able to grow 1 plant in a condo unit of 1,000 square feet or less, simply because of the square footage and the impact on others in the building. Obviously, when you're purchasing property, you must use a home inspector, and ideally an inspector who will be trained on determining whether or not a house has been used as a grow operation, which could have an effect. And of course, in my previous video, I addressed how when you have many plants and you're rerouting the electrical and plumbing in order to accommodate and increases moistures in the house, you can also have mold and a lot of other issues associated with that property, which can have a lasting impact on the future owners. So what can you do to protect yourself? Condos. So I have a friend who is a condo in a condo and is part of that condominium board, so the board of directors. So they have had many conversations specifically about condo corporations' ability to restrict smoking in condos, because they know the units, and they suspect that there will be a dramatic increase in complaints. Obviously, the smell is probably the biggest thing. Terpenes, apparently, is what we learned. Which is the cause of the smell. So a no smoking rule is likely to be affect the ability for homeowners. Again, they're trying to restrict new people from being able to allocate to be able to smoke in their units. So they're trying to outlaw it altogether, but they have to allow a grandfather rule for those who currently are smoking in units if it's not already blocked. But anyways, the long and the short of it is none of this stuff is 100%, because at the end of the day, none of this has been disputed legally in court, because this is the first time this has ever happened in Canada where it is now legal to grow in the house. So certainly a lot of issues are going to come to the table in the next year or so. Another thing was all colleges and universities already have smoke-free campuses. So thanks very much for watching. If you have more questions, check out the video, check out my previous video, and also leave comments below. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, which we will try to upload more frequently, you can check out our YouTube channel, mhtchannel.com. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.